Well, for Dark Souls 2, we've actually implemented a new game engine created specifically for Dark Souls 2, which allows us to really improve the use of light and the contrast between light and darkness within the game. We've also implemented a lot of motion capture for the character motions and animations, hopefully for a better feel when you control the character and a little bit more realism in the graphics so that the players can get more immersed into the character's role and positioning in the game. Well, it's tough to say. I think the challenge is that the director From Software is challenging himself right now is to really determine what we should maintain from Dark Souls 1 and what to change or enhance in terms of giving players a new experience. Obviously, the graphical improvements are something that you can see right away when you try out the E3 build, etc. But in terms of enhancements, I don't think we're focusing on adding a whole bunch of new features. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more enhancing the whole system itself so that you can strongly give that strong sense of achievement and accomplishment, and also emphasize the loose connections that you have with other players in space. Our methodology for storytelling in the game will probably carry over in the same way that it did in Dark Souls 1. The stories for Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 will be very separate. They're in the same universe, but they take place in different areas. And we don't deliberately tell the story directly to the players. We want players to be able to communicate with NPCs, read item descriptions to try and piece together their own story and figure out the story for themselves. So I think it's very unique for Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and I think that will carry over for this new game. I think that's more of a question for the director himself. He's the one that directs the creative, comes up with the story, and directs where we position Dark Souls 2 to be in the world itself. I've been told that the stories are separated, but I've also been told that players who have played Dark Souls 1 very deeply may find certain connections between the two stories. So hopefully players can look forward to that, and they might be a little bit surprised. Well, I think when I speak to the director often, the game is said to be difficult and very challenging, but at the same time, the reason for that is that sense of accomplishment, achievement that you get, and we want players to feel a stronger sense of achievement. If we're else to be able to do that, the difficulty and the challenge should be that much higher, so that when you're finally able to get over that one step, that strong sense of emotion is there. We make sure, or the director makes sure, that the difficulty is not from the skill level of the player. It's not how fast you can move, how smoothly you can control your controller. I think it's more from being able to pay attention to everything that happens around you, being constantly cautious, being able to learn from your mistakes and your deaths. That's, I think, the key to be able to conquer the difficulties and keep moving forward one step by step. Well, as the publishing producers, when I play the game, I sometimes feel the same way, to be honest. I haven't broken any myself, but I think that's the fun part about Dark Souls, and it's great that people break their controllers, but they actually pick up a new one to keep trying. And I think that's the feeling that we're trying to achieve. Is you might get frustrated, but as long as you keep trying, you will be able to overcome it. Sense that strong sense of achievement, and hope that anybody that breaks their controllers will keep trying. So in the end, it'll all be worth it. The general mechanics of the network functions and the multiplayer will function fairly similarly to Dark Souls 1. Obviously, the blood stains, the blood messages, the summoning, the invasions will all be there. What we're trying to do is strengthen sort of the loose connection within the network space. So we want players to obviously cooperate or invade and play against each other, but obviously we're not going to have that direct communication between players. It's something that is core to the Dark Souls experience, and we hope that we'll lose connections. But always feeling that there's other people in the same world facing the same difficulties, the same sorrowness, the same loneliness exist in the same world, and that's a key element to what Dark Souls 2 will have. Well, we hope to reveal information in terms of how to register and what all the beta will include, hopefully on September 5th. The beta testing will actually take place in October. Right now we're planning October 5th and October 20th for the actual sessions to take place. The dates may change a little bit, but hopefully fans and players can visit our official website, our official Facebook page for details in terms of when the betas will occur and what will be involved.